2023 was a big year for movies. There were so many fun ones to watch that it simply became unforgettable. However, there were two movies that were the cause of this big phenomenon. One of them was Barbie, which is a female leading film that attracted women, and the other was Oppenheimer, which is a male leading film that attracted men, both of which started the historic Barbenheimer phenomenon, in which both released at the same time and left plenty of destruction beyond their wake. This is one, however, that I absolutely adored, but there aren't many people out there that talk about just how great this masterpiece truly is. That's Christopher Nolan to you. There's a good reason why this, The Dark Knight, and Dunkirk are up there as some of his most critically acclaimed works, simply for the cinematography alone. Now, even though it's a lot to talk about when discussing this movie, I have my fair, strong details on what makes Oppenheimer a masterpiece, and you're about to find out in this bomb of a movie review. Before we start this video, don't forget to leave a like on this video if you enjoy it. And don't forget to subscribe, as well as hitting the bell icon to see more content. Thank you, and enjoy. To start with, the story stays extremely faithful to its original source material, perfectly showing how the atomic bomb would be invented. With its non-linear storytelling and combining the dedicated life of Robert Oppenheimer in style, there are lots to explore from start to finish and that make you feel engaged. Christopher Nolan went deep into making this story and assured the character's importance to the history of World War II. The topic of Robert becoming the father of the atomic bomb is seen perfectly, and you get to see how nuclear weaponry was invented, as well as how the big explosion changed things forever. Secondly, this movie has some very breathtaking and amazing cinematography for a Christopher Nolan movie. Since this is modern day cinema, it's used at its absolute best here, swatting away the typical CGI in favor of practical effects, showing the big perspective and scaling of the world building this movie has, which is really great considering the massive story this movie is trying to talk about here. For a movie that is a documentary type and not much of an action movie type like other war movies, it's extremely impressive given its limitations as a dialogue-written story. The ensembled cast is extremely talented, with my favourites being Cillian Murphy, who portrays the main character, Robert Oppenheimer, flawlessly. Florence Pugh and Emily Blunt are also really great, portraying Jen Tatlock and Kitty Oppenheimer respectively, and also Robert Downey Jr., who portrays Louis Strauss so good as well. He has some very strong build-ups, combined with strong dialogue, some of it being very chilling, but also very effective. Even Robert Downey Jr. said this was one of the best films he's ever been in, even better than some of his breakthrough roles. Eventually, that led him to winning his first Oscar for his performance as Strauss in a supporting role. The rest of the cast members also do a lot of sharp acting to make their characters faithful to their original appearances. The music score by Ludwig Göransson, who previously composed another Christopher Nolan movie, Tenet, is amazing and has it everywhere, and when it plays, it's still just as great as ever. It creates this sort of aura that matches this movie so well, with a bunch of tension building up as the movie goes along. Perfect for a film that takes its time to get to its main plot of the nuclear explosion. The mentioned aura that it manages to create is a mix of tension and dread, which is really perfectly fitting given for a film that had lots of time to build up with its story before finally getting into the main event. Here's something else this movie manages to achieve. It not only has its source material translated flawlessly in film, but it also avoids the typical tropes from other historical biopic movies, staying very original here. Biopics change their original events and source material alongside the human history, which all get dumbed down. This movie, however, brings its recognizable historical figures in their original character and helps it stand out amongst every other biopic, which is something this film can do that the others can't do. It's the complete opposite of what you'd see. The messages are powerful. The bombs may have helped us, but we have also doomed ourselves in the process. The scenes where Robert Oppenheimer has visions of war throughout his mind and how it affects people in the process really can put a haunt for those that have experienced it in the past. It just never ends. We also learn that if you make such destructive power, it will also destroy those that you love. It's also a reminder of humanity's capacity for destruction and the repercussions of wielding such immense power. Actions really do have consequences. Also, another great point for this movie. Christopher Nolan's direction is outstanding. Well, he is always a great director in plenty of other movies, so this comes as to no surprise to anyone. But still, he portrayed the entire movie in first person instead of third person, allowing the audience to stay focused on the story of Robert Oppenheimer and witness everything he did. Christopher Nolan really just works so well whenever a movie requires a lot of impressive cinematography. He also used a bunch of shots as IMAX screens, thus making it even more impressive. Finally, this movie became revolutionary and innovative within the film industry, not just because of the big phenomenon it had with Barbie, but because of its creative techniques and 100% accurate portrayal of past human history, which doesn't butcher any aspect of the source material, or else it would not be as well received because of it being set during a controversial time in human history. There are many layers to be added here, giving plenty of story and accurate portrayal of its historic characters, which was the secret that biopics were missing. Because of that reason, and for being hailed with all these mentioned points as one of the best movies of 2023, that's how it allowed itself to sweep almost all of its Oscar nominations at the 96 Academy Awards, and basically changing documentary movies forever. Overall, my final opinion on Oppenheimer? Well, it's definitely one of those movies, aka one of 2023's greatest movies, and also the one that actually lives up to its hype. A lot of movies that released in 2023 were pretty good, and this one is no exception. This is a perfect showcase on the title character himself, as well as how nuclear weapons were developed during World War II. I also like that while there is a lot of talking involved in this movie, you don't necessarily need to watch this for the performances alone, as the cinematography is more than enough. The shots that this movie delivers is all this needs to truly stand out on its own, as they are interesting and also very engaging for the viewer's eyes. It's a lengthy film, I mean a 3-hour documentary, what more needs to be said, but the reward is absolutely worth it, as the movie does a very amazing job on being just as entertaining, unlike what other movies can do. Definitely give this one a shot if you like studying World War II and nuclear weapons. It's absolutely worth considering. Kudos to everyone involved in this masterpiece. What is your opinion on Oppenheimer? Do you also find it to be just as great as well? What is your favorite Christopher Nolan movie? And what was your favorite 2023 movie? Let me know in the comment section below, and also don't forget to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel if you are new, and hit that bell icon to see more content on my channel. Thanks for watching. Led by an outstanding performance from Cillian Murphy and some of the most potent storytelling in war photography, Oppenheimer is one big bomb of 2023.